Hey, y'all. Let's talk about human attachment and why it matters so much. Human attachment is a foundational biological reality for humans. It also applies to other species of animals as well, but let's talk about humans because we're the most complex. It is present since birth and is highly contingent upon the interactions of parents with their children. Children are constantly seeking some sort of comfort from their parents, whether it be hunger or attention or hurt, pain, some sort of comfort. And the foundation of attachment is that how you respond to those interactions plays a large role in how your child will interact with the world for the rest of their life. And I know that sounds like a huge, daunting impact and responsibility, but that is the reality of human attachment. It affects how we relate to people. It reflects do we trust people? It affects how dependent we are on people. Or do we go it alone throughout our life? Are we loners? Or are we more? Are relationships hard? Are relationships risky? Are relationships safe? Ultimately, attachment is about do you feel safe? Do you feel emotionally safe? Do you feel physically safe? Do you feel psychologically safe? Do you feel relationally safe? Those change over time with your age, but for children, it's about physically safe. It's about emotional safety. It's about being comforted when you're hurting. But as you get older, it has immense ramifications for the way spouses relate to each other and the way mothers and fathers that are adults relate to each other. It has massive implications, and really, ultimately, it answers the question of, am I worthy of being liked, of being cared for? Am I worthy of love from somebody else? And so this video is going to dive into that in more depth about how we do that better and how we try our best not to cause an insecure attachment. We want our kids to be securely attached. So we can talk about this along different ages, but let's stick with infant attachment since that's so foundational and formative to who we are. It is a survival method. It's not a parenting style. So you can't really say that you're going to switch parenting styles and start doing attachment. No, attachment has already occurred. If you have children, you're way down the road towards forming a insecure or a secure attachment. Of course, we all want our kids to be securely attached because that's the safest thing and the best thing for them. But so when your infant is crying, when they're hungry, when they're hurt, when they're afraid, the question is, how do you respond in those thousands and thousands and untold numbers of interactions? Attachment is not formed in one big explosive or one big huge comforting event after a big trauma. Certainly those things can be incredibly impactful, but attachment is the daily grind of life. How dependable are you as a parent to respond to your child's emotional and psychological needs? That's the question. How responsive are you being? Are you being dismissive? Are you being overly responsive? Are you so comforting that your child gets the feeling that they can't do it themselves, that they're interwoven with you, that they have to have you take care of them? there's a balance there that is hard for parents to reach, but that is what we're after, is that perfect balance of responding but not over responding and causing dependence. So the real question is, how predictable and consistent are you in responding well to your child? Are you, you're not perfect. None of us are perfect. And so we're all going to blow it. But generally, overwhelmingly, what is the level of consistency that you are showing to your kids? Are you consistently able to notice their emotions? Are you consistently able to notice that they are upset about something, and do you do something about that? Or do you want to just dismiss it and hope that it'll go away, that it will get better on its own, that the child will figure out some way to figure it out on their own, which sometimes that's appropriate if it's an appropriate scenario. But most of the time, kids need their parents to help them understand the world and how it works and how emotions work and how relationships work, particularly when you do something wrong. When you do something that breaks the relationship in some way, repairing that with them is immensely helpful to forming healthy, secure attachment. They see how relationships work. They see how people make mistakes and they are able to recover, and the relationship persists despite there being some conflict or despite there being some struggle. A lot of us grew up in families where conflict was absolutely non-existent, where it was outlawed, either because the parents were passive, which would be, there was no warmth there really, or because it was just kind of said, we just don't do that. Both of those are bad ways to deal with conflict. The better way is to have conflict, make mistakes, and tell them you're sorry. And your kids will be immensely more securely attached to you just from that one consistent inconsistency, if you will. One even deeper aspect of human attachment is kind of an existential aspect of it, in that all of us relate to each other, especially our close relationships, in light of the attachment pattern that we have. And there's a lot that can be said about that. There's different types of attachment. Secure is the best, or the most healthy. Insecure is the less healthy. And there are different types of that. Anxious and avoidant are the two major types. Anxious, kind of as you would expect, it's a relationship pattern that's more of a anxious about the status of your relationship. Where do we stand? Where do I stand with you? Where do I stand with my spouse? Where do I stand with my siblings? Where do I stand with my coworkers? You're kind of anxious about the status of the relationship. And it makes you behave in a certain way that needs reassurance about the fact that this relationship is going to be okay. Avoidant attachment is kind of the opposite of that, in that it tends to, people with avoidant attachment tend to kind of say, I'm good on my own. I don't really need relationships very much. Relationships are messy. Relationships are just get in the way of me living my life. I'm going to take care of things myself. In marriage relationships or in romantic relationships, frequently anxious and avoidant come together because they're kind of like two puzzle pieces that oftentimes fit together. Long term, that is fraught with some problems that are well documented in literature and books. Particularly a book called Secure Love by Julie Manano is one that I would highly recommend for the marriage side of that dynamic. But it also because of the way we relate to people, we also relate to God in the same way. We have this concept of God that if you're anxious, you're wanting reassurance, you're doubting things, you're suspicious, you're needing reassurance, and if you're avoidant, you tend to stay away. You tend to have a very low energy towards Christian things, towards godly things, towards um, prayer, towards reading your Bible, towards all the activities that generally reflect a closer relationship with God. You tend to go do your own thing and go your own way, and do it at your own pace. So that's neither one of those are healthy. That's not a secure relationship. There's a lot more to it, a ton more to it, but that's kind of a primer. And hopefully, this encourages you to be more attuned to your children and want to make sure that they are growing up heard, seen, attuned to emotionally, psychologically, physically. Um, I'm not advocating for overdoing it. That can be overdone too. But responding to your kids' needs appropriately and not coming across it as dismissive or overly anxious. So that's it. If you like what I'm doing, I appreciate it. And you can subscribe below if you want to keep following.